Hello there. Hello. Welcome guys. Welcome to a new video on this channel, a new reaction video. Today we are watching the history of the Roman Empire every month. To be exact, the eastern part of the Roman Empire. And yeah, please like, subscribe to the person we're going to watch. I'm gonna leave the link to the video into the description box, I think, and into the pinned comment, basically. So yeah, without further ado, let us begin and react to this video. You know how I love Roman history, so let's just do it. Okay, let's get this and put the music here. There we go. Okay, you can pause the video if you want to read the the text, everything basically. So yeah. Hmm. Yeah, so yeah, good. He clarifies the term Byzantine. Okay, that's good. You can pause and read for yourself. I already know everything there is here. I believe so. So yeah. Wait, co-emperors slash co-regents are not shown either in order to make the video easier to follow and to understand. That makes sense. Yeah, makes sense because there's a bunch of co-emperors and a bunch of co-regents. I believe. I haven't watched this video yet, but like I believe. Um, they're gonna show only the senior of the co-emperors, right? For example, of Basil II, normally and nominally he was a co-emperor together with his brother, younger brother, Constantine VIII. So it's gonna show only Basil II, basically. So yeah. Oh, the patriarchs are going to be shown by the Chiro symbol. Okay, yeah, makes sense. Yeah, here we have the symbols basically. Okay, let's skip that. Here's a bit of history if you guys are, um, you know, if you guys are interested, lol. So yeah, I'm gonna lower the music, the background music. There we go. Okay, and we have this here. I think it's the history of Constantinople. I'm pretty sure. So yeah, we start with the first ruler after the last official split, Augustus Arcadius, basically the son of Theodosius the First. So it starts in January 395 AD. Okay. So also here, as you can see we have some chapters. Here is the Theodosians chapter. So I'm guessing all of this is going to be the Theodosian dynasty ruling the empire. Okay, makes sense. So after Arcadius, I'm pretty sure it's his son, Theodosius II, taking charge. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be pretty soon because Arcadius, ruled very short compared to his brother Honorius in the west. So yeah, and it's really fascinating um, about the eastern side of the empire, how they had three patriarchates, and the western had only one patriarchate, which is Rome. Oh, okay, there we go. In 480, in 408, Emperor Theodosius II has ascended the throne. Okay, I'm really glad they used the proper name, Roman Empire, the English version that is. Normally at this point it would be called Imperium Romanum in Latin. So yeah. So yeah, about this point it's pretty chill in terms of external threats and territorial changes, mainly because you know there weren't that many invasions to the east compared to the west, obviously. So yeah, I believe around this time soon is going to be like around this time Valentinian the Third is going to be installed. I'm pretty sure. So yeah, Attila will. Okay, here we have in Pannonia. It seems I'm pretty sure this is during the Attila the Huns, during the Huns invasions of Europe, and together with the West they are fighting the Huns. I'm pretty sure. So yeah. So I'm pretty sure this is only temporary. This differentiates. The color differentiates the main color mainly because this is an influence or like an area subjugated by the empire. For example, Lazica is a client kingdom to the empire. So yeah, I'm assuming Pannonia is the same as well. And around this time, I'm pretty sure the Gazanids are also going to be subjugated. Not sure when though. Maybe like in the 1450s. I'm pretty sure. Like around Emperor Marcianus. My bad. Emperor Marcian. Okay. So far pretty chill. You know, it's funny that by this point the Western Roman Empire has lost so many territories compared to the East, who has gained, you know, arguably gained territories thanks to Pannonia. You know, so yeah. Okay, it's 4040. I just realized that Theodosius II ruled for quite a while, and I saw that, but let me finish. And I believe the Theodosian walls are named after him, not rather than his grandfather being Theodosius I. So that's kind of interesting, you know. Like you would assume that the walls of the Roman capital would be named after, you know, the Theodosian walls would be named after the first Theodosius, you know, but that's not really the case. Okay, and here was, I'm pretty sure, the Huns who reached up until Nessus. I'm not sure if they raised it to the ground Nessus or not, but Nessus was a Romanized city with Latin-speaking population. Hmm. And yeah, those are like modern day Serbia and Montenegro. Those are, I'm pretty sure, Romanized Illyrians at this point. And like around central Bulgaria, central modern day Bulgaria, there were located the Romanized Thracians, and then Moesia, it was located the Vlachs, or like the Proto-Romanians at this point, I'm pretty sure. Correct me if I'm wrong, by the way. And of course, this is Hellas with mainly Greeks. So yeah. Okay, I'm pretty sure those are the Huns again or the Goths. I'm not sure who. Maybe the Goths. Who knows? Damn, they reach all the way until Gallipoli. That's crazy, bro. But I'm pretty sure Theodosius managed to push them back around 450s, I think. And soon, oh, there we go. Yeah, in 450, I remember that Emperor Marcian took the throne. He is not of the same blood as Theodosius. He's actually, I'm pretty sure, through marriage, managed to marry the widow of Theodosius II, and that's why he's considered a Theodosian in the same dynasty. But normally he isn't by blood. So yeah. Okay, and around this time, as you guys saw, you know, it seems that the Patriarchate of Jerusalem and the Patriarchate of Constantinople has been founded under Emperor Marcian. So that's pretty neat, honestly. Okay. And it will be quite a bit of rain until you know, the next ruler appears, which is going to be Leo the First. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Leo the First. He's nicknamed Leo the Thracian because he's you know, he comes from around those parts. So yeah, but he was a capable ruler. I must say this. He was definitely better than Zeno at least, and he tried. He was like the last Eastern Roman emperor to try to save the Western Empire on two separate occasions, if I'm not mistaken. And of course, he was the one who installed, I'm pretty sure, one of the three of the last Western Roman emperors, being Anthemius, Procopius, someone else I forgot, and Julius Nepos, basically. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, even with my knowledge of the Roman Empire, I keep forgetting, you know. So that's pretty nice to like look back, because like I literally forgot, honestly, before this video, that there was Emperor Theodosius II, even though I was aware of the fact, but I just forgot it, my man, lol. So yeah, but it is a pretty long video, so we should hurry up. So what I'm going to do is speed up the video a bit to 1.5. It's gonna be faster this way. Okay. And so far, so okay. So it seems that the Ghaznavids are not yet under control, or they are. They just don't show it for some reason. Well, it's quite fine, I guess. Oh yeah, the Leo the First is of another dynasty. I just realized, of the Leonid dynasty. Pretty short-lived dynasty, by the way, with only 3 official rulers. Okay. Oh, so Leo the First was the one who, you know, got vassalage over the Ghaznavids. That's pretty neat, actually. And Leo the First died, unfortunately, leaving his young underage grandson as the ruler. Um, and the reason why Leo the Second is wait, my dog is doing something. I don't know what. Anyways, the reason why it's Leo the Second, it's because the regent was Zeno basically, but by this point Leo the Second should be dead actually. Like he died not long after the death of his grandfather, honestly. So I don't know where the creator of this video got this information, but Leo the Second, shortly after his death, the death of his grandfather, he died himself. So it should be his father, Zeno, an Isaurian, to rule right now, honestly. And Basiliscus was actually the brother-in-law of Leo the First. Okay. And 480, Julius Nepos has been assassinated in Dalmatia, and Dalmatia region has fallen to the realm of Odoacer. And yeah, let's skip until the death of Zeno, which is right now, and the rise of Anastasius. Anastasius is the same as Marcian, only being part of this dynasty by marriage alone. Same with Zeno as well, actually. Zeno and Anastasius has married. Actually, yeah, Zeno has married into with the daughter of Leo the First, and after the death of Zeno, the daughter of Leo the First married, which is now a widow, married Anastasius the First, administrator basically. So yeah, and Anastasius will go to live until 86, I'm pretty sure. And Anastasius ruled until like 518. 518, that's like pretty long, honestly. Okay, nothing too much happens. I'm pretty sure the Anastasian war will happen with the Sassanids around here. It just doesn't show for some reason. Well, it's fine, yes. Okay, and there we go. Justin the First of a new dynasty. A new person has been proclaimed Augustus. Um, his Latin variation is named Justinus, and he was also a Thracian. He was also named Thracian as well, I'm pretty sure. And he was illiterate, I'm pretty sure as well. And yeah, this guy will rule for basically 9 years until his nephew and adopted son, Justinian, aka Justinianus, will rise to the throne. Actually, Justinian's real name is Petrus Sabatius. Did you know that? Okay. And by this point in 526, Justinian was made Caesar, aka designated heir and second in command of the empire, besides his adopted father and biological uncle, Justin the First. And there we go, Justinian the Goat has entered the picture, literally. And immediately, as he, entered the picture, the assassin is attacked, as you guys can see. I'm pretty sure it's called the Lazican War or something. And soon around Dara over here, Flavius Belisarius, Magister Militum per Orientem, had defeated a Sassanid army, and soon the Nicarites also happened. There you go, over here. Something happened to Cherson, so we have some expansion into Crimea as well. And yeah, there we go. Flavius Belisarius has been, assigned Magister Militum per Africam and sent an expedition to conquer the Vandal kingdom, who has subdued and conquered the African Roman province. And there we go. In just 9 months, the goat Belisarius has managed to conquer all of this. It will take some time, like a few decades, until the African front will be pacified, thanks to the Berbers, of course. And in 536, after the consulship of Flavius Belisarius, he will be sent again after the death of Amalasuntha in Italy to conquer the Italian province as well, with even less troops than he had in the African campaign, obviously. And General Magister Militum per Illyricum Mundus also pushed into Illyricum over here. But unfortunately, his son died, and he also later died. And there we go. Look how fast Belisarius got the city of Rome as well. Some setback, but he will eventually get almost all of Italy. But unfortunately, the Justinianic plague the bubonic plague will arrive, slowing the progress as well as, an attack from the Sassanid Empire as well. That's why the progress ended here. There we go. With, it stagnated over here, while the Sassanids, attacked in the east, which Belisarius needed to, be called back there, unfortunately. And there we go, we have Totila, if I'm not mistaken, taking all of the land here and ravaging all of Italy. And yeah. And then Belisarius will be sent again to reconquer, the Italian position over here, which is, I'm pretty sure right now, about to happen. Never mind. Okay, there we go. Narcissus has gotten from the north, and he will soon there we go. In 553, he managed to get all of Italia, and as you guys can see, thanks to a civil war in Visigothia, ruled by which was ruling Spain at the time, the Romans took the advantage and supported a rival faction and managed to get some land here in the south, basically. Ignore this. And there we go. I don't know if they did take Cordoba, I'm not sure about that, but they definitely had Cartago Nova as well. So yeah. And in Ravenna, the several, churches and several pictures, several like monuments have been raised over there, basically by Justinian as well. I actually went to Ravenna last summer, lol, and I went literally to the Basilica of Saint Vitalian, which was the Pope at the time, I'm pretty sure. So yeah. Okay, and the death of Justinian the First has arrived, leaving his nephew, Justin the Second, in power. And unfortunately, all of Justinian's work has been undone thanks to the Lombards and the incompetence of Justin the Second, who, instead of supporting the Lombards against the Avars, he supports the Avars. Pretty bad move, honestly. Okay, and there we go. Well, there goes half of Italy. Of course, as you guys can see, some small pieces of land has been taken by the Visigoths at the same time. Another Sassanid war has happened, and yeah, this is, I'm pretty sure, Tiberius the Second doing this good, or it was someone else, or even Mauritius. Yeah, this is Mauritius doing this. Yeah, future Emperor Amor is doing this. Okay. And I'm pretty sure, there we go, Emperor Augustus Mauritius got the title Persicus Maximus for his achievements in Mesopotamia against the Sassanids. And yeah. Oh my gosh, look at the Slavics. Oh my gosh. Damn. And that's why Maurice tried his best to defeat the Slavs once and for all. The Avars, to be exact. Okay. Fun fact, did you know that Maurice himself issued the writings of the Strategicon, military manual of how to deal with, enemies and how to have a proper military. There we go. Mavricopolis, pretty nice city over there. This is the first time I'm seeing this. And yeah. Okay, well, we do have a stronger position here in the east, but our position in the west has weakened. And yeah. And soon, because of, unpaid troops, unfortunately, Emperor Mauritius will be deposed in 602 by the future Emperor, Phocas. Actually, Phocas, you need to study him more. He's not as bad as he's portrayed by future contemporaries. There we go. He at least managed, he was aware at least of the other threats, so he did keep the garrisons here and did keep some field armies over here to, at least put some pressure on the front, so, the front doesn't collapse here. But, the Sassanids still attacked, and because of his military failures in the east, The future emperor Heraclius and his elder father has rebelled in the Exarchate of Africa. So yeah, in about 610, there we go. Emperor Heraclius made his debut, and because of because of this, he's about to kick some Sassanid ass. But not only after getting his ass kicked by the Sassanids. Look, the Avars also broke through the Danubian lines and allied with the Sassanids to, make a siege on Constantinopolis over here. But soon, Heraclius the God will be able to counter both the Avars and the Sassanids. Some more losses in Spania. There we go. And we'll have slowly the conquest of Egypt again around 626. There we go. There we go. He's soon gonna get up, and there we go. The status quo has been, established, and both the Sassanid Empire and the Roman Empire is now completely exhausted. That's why he has some losses here, and will lose almost all of the Balkans to the Slavs, as you can see here, reaching all the way to Peloponnese over here. There we go, and there we go. Okay, soon the Battle of Yarmouk will happen. At the time, Heraclius was around Antioch here, supervising the armies. And there we go. Well, it's over. Battle of Yarmouk was a disaster leading up to this. And the last legion of Rome, of ancient Rome, Legion the 5th Macedonica, will make a last stand to Alexandria. And Heraclonas, as well as Constantinos III, has prematurely died, leaving Constantinos III's son, Constans II, 11-year-old at this point, as the sole ruler of the Roman Empire. And it makes sense, the loss of Egypt and parts of Africa and all of this permanently, because at the time, Heraclius was old and he died in 641. His first son also died prematurely, as well as his second son also died prematurely, leaving his grandson, Constans II, an 11-year-old, ruling the empire with these horrendous borders. Makes sense. So yeah, this was the Justinian dynasty. Then we have the non-dynastic, which is Phocas, and so started the Heraclian dynasty, basically. His nickname for Constans II we have in the Greek one Pogonotos, I'm pretty sure, which means the bearded, and the Latin one which is Barbatulus, I'm pretty sure. Okay, there we go. Constans' attempt to reconquer Egypt has failed, unfortunately. He lost even more land here. Soon Kaivran, the city of Kaivran and fortress of Kaivran will be established, and yeah, pretty dire situation. Cyprus has been lost. Will be so. Okay, I didn't know that Crete was almost lost at this point as well. But I'm pretty sure the theme system has been formed at this point by Constans II, especially in Anatolia. So yeah. Then around this time, Constans will go to the west and do some campaigning around Beneventum, around here. Visit Rome, strip it of all of its values, and try to establish a capital here in Syracuse. But he has failed and he has been assassinated in his path, leaving his, his young son, Constantine IV, basically ruling the empire. Pretty, actually, able ruler. If he lived longer, maybe the emperor would have been way better. So, yeah. Around this time, the Bulgars also arrived in the Danube region. So, yeah. And then, soon, Africa of its entirety will be lost. Not right now, but soon, around 20 years or so. Actually, I think 10 at this point. There we go. Pretty sure Constantine lost a battle to the Bulgarians, establishing them below the Danube, I'm pretty sure. And there we go. Justinian II, the son of Constantine IV, made his debut. And early on in his reign, he was pretty successful, militarily that is. He was actually quite similar in his military tactics to the future Emperor Constantine V, actually. The only difference is that Justinian II got deposed, he didn't. Okay. Yeah, I didn't know she got up until this point. Good job, Justinian. But he lost the Battle of Sevastopolis around here, because of Slavic detachment, and then she massacred them, and then she became even more cruel, and she was deposed by his strategos, Leontius. There we go, which is gonna rule for a few years until Drungarios, which means in English an admiral of the fleet of Cyprus, will usurp him. I'm pretty sure his name is Apsimarus, and she took the original name of Tiberius. There we go, Tiberius III Apsimarus. Okay, and soon, as of right now, Justinian is just exiled, so he didn't die, but his nose was cut. A usual fashion to try to make your rivals not being suitable for the emperorship, So yeah, at this point, Justinian has made contacts with the Khazar Khan. He got his sister as his wife. The wife changed the name into Theodora to mirror Theodora of Justinian I. And yeah, he will have a son around 705, I'm pretty sure. And in 705, Tiberius III will be deposed by Justinian II, now nicknamed Rhinotmetos, which means the slit-nosed. There we go. With the thanks, of course, of the Bulgars. This is the first time when the Bulgar Khan, I'm pretty sure his name was Terval, got the title of Caesar, of Kaiser, by Justinian II for helping him. And he lost some territories because Justinian II, as soon as he got the throne, tried to attack the Bulgarians and failed, obviously. So yeah. And in his second reign, Justinian II was so freaking cruel, bro. He was so if he wasn't as cruel, then maybe his dynasty of the Heraclean dynasty maybe could have survived. And all of those rulers up until now being replaced, it's called the 20 years anarchy, basically a mini third crisis of the third century. Yeah, so yeah. And around this time, Pope Gregorius, I'm pretty sure, or whatever his name was, came to Constantinople for the 6th Ecumenical Council. I'm pretty sure it was a Quinset Council, I'm not sure. Around there, made by Justinian II. And I believe in this year, Ravenna was pillaged, was sacked by Justinian II's forces because of a rival Exarchos. And there we go, all of the holdings in Africa have been lost, unfortunately. And in 711, also all of Hispania, all of Iberia has been lost to the Umayyad Caliphate as well. And yeah, Philippicus, a general, managed to I'm pretty sure a general from Cherson itself tried to and succeeded in usurping Justinian, assassinated him around here, and caught Justinian's son named Tiberius and killed him, basically, in a church. Actually, he was dragged out of the church, I'm pretty sure. So yeah. Philippicus Bardanes was his name. He wasn't that good of a ruler because he immediately got deposed by Anastasius II, the strategos of the Obsidian team over here. And then he will also get deposed by Theodosius III. And as you guys can see, the image has been, made smaller because at this point the empire will never regain the territories they once had. So yeah. But by this point, they also had the Balearic Islands, basically. Like those islands. I don't know why it isn't shown yet for some reason. But okay. Okay. Hold on. In 717, there we go. As you guys can see, the invading forces close to Constantinopolis. Theodosius III was preparing for a siege of Constantinopolis, the second Rome. However, before this invading force arrived, he was deposed by Leo III, a diplomat of Justinian II, actually. And I believe he's from the time of Germanica, around here. That's where his origin is. That's what I'm learned about it. But yeah, he managed to repel the Umayyad, the second siege of Constantinopolis. And yeah, an earthquake also happened around here at this time, and soon he will enforce and destroy a lot of icons, starting the iconoclasm controversy. And slowly from this point on, from 725, the West will slowly slip away. Slip away, basically. With the first and foremost will be the conquest of Ravenna by the Lombards soon, under his son, Constantine V. So yeah, around this time, I'm pretty sure, or even in 740, I'm not sure when, but Leo III and his son will win a decisive battle around here against the Umayyads. Okay, well, we lost Laziscam. That's pretty great, I guess. And still no progress in the, Hellenic region yet. And yeah, this is Artavastos, the son-in-law of Leo III, basically, who tried to usurp the, emperorship from Constantine V. Even though the creator of this video said he wouldn't, showcase the emperors or, usurpers, but okay. So yeah, now Artavassos is fighting against Constantine V, the son of Leo III. There we go. Constantine V was installed. The most cruel of the iconoclastic emperors. She was basically Justina II, but she just didn't get deposed. Lol. But again, because they get deposed, he's in a more favorable light, I guess. And there we go. Around this time, Ravenna will be lost as well. There we go. And soon the Duchy of Rome will be lost as well. Unfortunately. I think in 756, I'm pretty sure. There we go, yeah. And yeah, I'm pretty sure at this time the Pope asked for the help of Pepin the Short of the Franks. So yeah, that's how it went. Yeah, around this time, I'm pretty sure Constantine made a huge win against the Bulgars. Around here, I'm pretty sure. Or here, I'm not sure where. But yeah. Oh my gosh. I wish Constantine V at least, lived longer. Maybe he would have regained some more territories around Moesia. At this point now being called Bulgaria. And soon, Constantine V's son, Leo IV Kazaros, will be installed. Kazaros, meaning the Khazar, because I'm pretty sure he was the son of the wife of Constantine V, who was a Khazar, I'm pretty sure. Correct me if I'm wrong. There we go, have Leo IV, a pretty able ruler himself, actually. Underrated as well. And one of the last rulers of the Isaurian dynasty. Starting the Isaurian dynasty, Leo III himself. And prematurely, Constantine VI got the throne because Leo IV died. Pretty young, actually. But currently, he is under a regency under his mother, Irene of Athens, if you heard about her. And soon around 790, he will try to assume power. Yeah, he'll try to assume power, and he will fail because even after he assumed power, he was a pretty, inept ruler, unfortunately. So yeah, not that much happened during his reign, unfortunately. Well, I guess that little small invasion. Never mind, something happened. But I think this was thanks to Irene's administration, not his administration. The reconquest of Hellas. So yeah. But there we go. He was blinded and then later killed by his own mother, Irene, becoming the first Basileus, the first emperor, the first reigning empress, basically. And yeah, aside from ending the iconoclasm, she is not that great. Because yeah, she was deposed by Nikephoros I of the Nicephorian dynasty right now. There we go. And we all know what happens to Nicephorus in 813. Okay. The Italian front looks pretty nice, as you guys can see. Naples at this point is a client kingdom. So yeah. And there we go. Actually, my bad, it was 811. I confused it with the death of Michael I. My bad. But Stavrakios will unfortunately die soon thanks to the wounds he got inflicted at the horrible battle that his brother Nicephorus had unfortunately lost. And there we go, Michael the First being the brother-in-law to Nicephorus, I'm pretty sure, and being the last of the Nicephorian dynasty. And I'm pretty sure, yeah, Leo the Fifth got the throne pretty peacefully because Michael the First himself resigned. So yeah. And yeah, Leo the Fifth was actually an Armenian, and he tried to emulate the Leo the Third, and he revived iconoclasm. And his son Symbatius, he renamed him to Constantinus to resemble Leo the Third and Constantine the Fifth. So he tried to establish a dynasty, but he unfortunately failed because he soon got usurped by another general named Michael II. Michael II comes from a town, Amorium, around here, this place. So yeah, he's also a pretty able general himself. And the Amorian dynasty has started with his ascension as well. So yeah. And there we go. The Arabs got into Sicily, unfortunately. Theophilos, being the son of Michael II, I would say he's a pretty underrated emperor, honestly. We should have gotten more Theophilos' names for emperors, you know. He was also pretty rich, actually. His reign was pretty, you know, surplus. The treasury was always surplus, basically. And as you can see, Sardinia is slowly fading, meaning it slowly on its own got independent. Thanks to, you know, being even more independent as the years go by, because the Romans just didn't bother to govern it at this point. So yeah, around the late 800s, I'm pretty sure Sardinia is fully independent and the Romans don't have any control over it. But Theophilus, you know, as you guys can see, has some, you know, has had some victories against the Arabs, basically. He was still pretty hasty, honestly. He should have been more careful, and because of that, the origin of his dynasty, the Aborian dynasty, the town of Amorium, has been sacked and destroyed. So yeah. But even though the emperor keeps losing lands, it's fine because Theophilos at least left the treasury pretty high, and he was one of the leading members, and I'm pretty sure one of the last iconoclast rulers to rule the empire. Michael III also, I'm pretty sure he's the last iconoclast ruler. During this time, he is pretty young, having his father Theophilus died prematurely, and he's currently in a regency. Regency council, a bunch of people, including the patriarch, I'm pretty sure, his mother, Theoctictos, I'm pretty sure, pretty nice figure at the time. So yeah, and the emperor just keeps losing. This is sad to see. And actually, by this point, Venice was still technically speaking a vassal of the empire, but only nominally by this point. At this point, the relations were still cordial, so it wasn't that unfriendly. So yeah, around this time, this early schism between the papacy and Constantinople has happened, but soon got you know, resolved. And around this time, I'm pretty sure there was a Kaiser, Bardas, a general named Bardas, got the title of Kaiser, second in command, and was supposed to succeed Michael III, if not for the ascension of Basil Macedonos. Vasilios Macedonos was a peasant from Macedonia, obviously, and Basil literally got himself to be Michael's close friend, and he even had an affair with Michael's wife, I'm pretty sure. Lol. So yeah, and soon Michael, yeah, this is like a civil war right now happening, I'm pretty sure, or something. No, this was the Vikings, maybe, who knows. Yeah, it was the Vikings. Yeah, it was the Vikings who tried to sack Constantinople, but they failed. But yeah, in 863, unfortunately, Michael III will be dethroned by his co-emperor, Co-Vasileus, Vasilios after killing Bardas, obviously. And there we... no, it was 867, my bad, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm stupid, guys. Sorry. There we go, 867. I confused it. There we go, Basil the First, starting the Macedonian dynasty. It is argued that the Macedonian dynasty is a branch of the Amorian dynasty because of Basil's affair with Michael's wife, basically, who the alleged son of Basil the First is Leo the Sixth, Sophos, the Wise, Leo the Sixth, the Wise. And it's rumored that Leo is actually the son of Michael the Third. So Leo's descendants, being the Macedonian rulers, are actually just a branch of the Amorian dynasty. But that's just a rumor, who knows? Who really knows at this point, you know? So yeah. And then slowly Sicily is getting gobbled up, unfortunately. But a revitalized Roman resistance in South Italy is about to happen, I'm pretty sure. Basil, while not being a good administrator, was a good general, I'm pretty sure. And he revitalized the army, so that's pretty nice though. So yeah. Okay, some stuff happened here. And if you're wondering what happened to Cyprus, this is joint rule of the island by the Umayyads and the Romans. I forgot to mention it. But as you guys saw there, as you guys saw there, before Basil's death, he managed to get the region of Apulia under control, as well as Naples and Amalfi under the influence of the Romans even more. So yeah, there we go, Leo the Sixth, as I was saying. Physically, he was pretty weak, and he was the last person to ever hold the office of consul, having abolished that office. Because, you know, at this point, the Senate was just basically only honorifics at this point, only for honorary titles. There we go. South Italy has been, you know, reconquered for a bit. That's pretty nice. Starting from this point on, the Romans are going on the offensive, so that's pretty good. So yeah, except in the Balkans. I forgot what happens next. So yeah, Leo the Sixth was a good administrator, pretty good one actually. But in terms of military, military matters, he wasn't that great, especially against the Bulgarians. So yeah. At this point, I'm pretty sure Alexandros, the brother of Leo the Sixth, is what you call it, has enough, is older, is old enough to rule, I'm pretty sure, which he's about after the death of his brother. So I'm pretty sure it's 912, right? Or 911. Sorry, 912. I mean, yeah, there we go, 912. There we go. Alexander. Technically speaking, he should be Alexandros the Second, you know, because the first Alexander of the Roman Empire was Severus Alexander of the Severan dynasty. Of he is like a descendant of Septimius Severus. So yeah. So normally I think he should be Alexander the Second, but Alexandros was so useless because he attacked the Bulgarians, and literally after he attacked the Bulgarians, he didn't do that much, and then he died because he got overdrunk, lol. And then Constantine the Seventh, being the son of Leo the Seventh, Leo the Sixth, I mean, my bad. He was still underage, so a regency was held by the Patriarch of Constantinople and his mother until, I'm pretty sure, 920, I think. I'm pretty sure 919 or 920, when yeah, this is during, yeah, at this point it shouldn't be Constantine the Seventh. At this point his emperorship rank was lower than the emperor who took power, the regent Romanus Lacapenus was a regent as well, but then he got himself crowned in 920 by the patriarch as Basileus the Autocratoras, which means emperor and autocrat of the Romans, starting the short-lived Lacapenian dynasty. Romanus Lacapenus, Romanus the First, I mean, also got his daughter to marry Constantine the Seventh, basically uniting the two dynasties together. So yeah, Romanos, at least he tried. And around this time, he promoted his own sons, Stephanos and Constantinos, to the emperorship rank, raised them to the purple, to Basileus, having Constantine at rank third in the emperorship. So at this point, I'm pretty sure there were like 4 emperors ruling the empire. Like, that's crazy, dude. It's the Tetrarchy all over again. It's just that it only has like one capital, the Roman Empire. So yeah. But soon, Romanus will die, and this is the peak territorial expansion into the Roman lands of the first Bulgarian Tsardom, or the first Bulgarian Empire. So yeah. And around this time, actually no, around 940, I think. Yeah, Romanus lived for a long time. Yeah. And I believe around this time, um, Romanus II has been born, son of Constantine the Seventh, as well as maybe Basil Lecapenus. Or Basil Lecapenus is a nephew of Constantine the Seventh, I'm not sure. But yeah, this is the current situation of the empire. I don't know what happens here. I actually forgot. Maybe the Bulgarians try to take Constantinople? Who knows? There's the wars with the Abbasids, there we go. And yeah, Crete has also been lost, unfortunately. And I'm pretty sure the town of Messina over here, in Sicily, it's still under the Roman control. Pretty nice, actually. And those islands will just never get white, lol. Well, at this point, Constantine the Seventh is ruling on his own right. I think it was around 940s or something. So yeah, she was not that great. She was not like that great of a military ruler, much like his father Leo the Sixth. But Constantine the Seventh, he was a great administrator and philosopher, and general scholar. Um, I'm pretty sure she had like many works done. So yeah, and yeah, shout out to the to the profile picture. I actually use this profile picture right now on my channel. So yeah, um, so yeah, now you know who that guy is. Okay. Then what do we have here? Soon, yeah, all right. Here in 960, Romanus II has ascended to the purple, um, as well as his sons Vasilios and Constantinos. I mean Vasilios and Basil and Constantine have been born soon, basically. And he will die only 3 years later. As you guys saw there, this was the conquest of Cyprus, the conquest of Crete, yeah, and some conquest here happened thanks to Nicephorus here. Nicephorus II, Phocas of the Phocas dynasty, nicknamed the Pale Death of the Saracens. Yeah, the Romans nicknamed the Muslim Caliphate, the Muslims in general, no, the Muslim Arabs in general, the Saracens, So yeah. Nicephorus II, as you guys can see, was an able military ruler, managed to reconquer Cyprus, Sicilia, Antioch, and established the Emirate of Aleppo, a client kingdom state, or a tributary state, whatever you want to call it, as well as some lands here, basically, in the Armenian highlands. And he even reached all the way over here, going as close as to Damascus, I'm pretty sure. And there we go, the Patriarchate of Antioch has been re-established. Oh man, and then Nicephorus got got replaced by another general, I'm pretty sure, Ioannis the First Zimistis. You could argue that he should be Ioannis the Second, because the first Ioannis was already a Roman emperor in the west around here after the death of Honorius, I'm pretty sure. He was the emperor before Valentinian III, I'm pretty sure, during the invasion of Attila the Hun, and Flavius Aetus being in the command of Johannes, I guess. So you could count him as Ioannis the Second, but counting him as purely Ioannis the First, I don't really mind it. So yeah, because the Romans in the East didn't recognize Johannes as emperor of the West. That's why they replaced him with Valentinian. So I can see you can have it interchangeable with John the Second or John the First. So yeah. And yeah, Ioannis, unlike Nicephorus, focused mostly on the Balkans, as you guys can see, fighting the Bulgarians and the Kievan Rus, and then straight up going into the east, doing the Ottoman strategy. If you played U4, basically the Ottomans first attack a nation in the east, in the Asia, and then to call off the aggressive expansion in the east, they go to Europe side to basically fight there. And then after they fight there, enough time has passed to go fight again in the east. So yeah, that's pretty neat actually. And I'm pretty sure maybe John himself reached all the way to Damascus. No, not sure. Yeah. All the way to Damascus. That's crazy. Ioannis here had the chance to retake all of Syria and maybe even push into Jerusalem. Who knows? Who knows? Uh, and I think he failed to do that because of the invasion of the Bulgarians, unfortunately. But yeah, Basil the second here, being the senior heir of the senior heir of Romanos the second, is the co-ruling alongside his younger brother Constantine the eighth. And then at this point he's still under influence by his uncle Basil Lakapenos. So right now, I'm pretty sure, or no, not sure. Maybe like right now, like around this time, he got full power. Yeah, and around this point, at the gates of Trajan, he lost a decisive battle against the Bulgarians. Um, and then soon the Varangian Guard will be established by Basil II, and the Christianization of the Kievan Rus as well. Around the 1990s, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, but all of those years pass, and there's a bunch of revolts in Anatolia, a bunch of skirmishes around here in the Syrian border with the Fatimids, and small skirmishes and attacks with the Bulgarians as well. Yeah, there we go. The main campaign started. Um, you know, there we go. He's fighting on a two-front war, Basil. That's pretty impressive, honestly. Like if Basil only had to focus on one front, let's say on Bulgaria, he would have finished Bulgaria by 10, by 10:07, maybe 10:05 even. It honestly depends. But if he had fully focused on the Fatimid Caliphate over here, and wouldn't have to worry about the Balkan front, then maybe he would have not be called Bulgar Ktonos or the Bulgar Slayer, but maybe he would be called the Saracen Slayer. Get it? Get it? So yeah. Soon in 1014, the Battle of Clydon will happen, and in 1018, the annexation of almost all the Balkans will happen. So yeah. Around this time, more expansion here towards the Georgian lands as well happened. A truce has been settled with the Fatimids. That's why Basil is allowing himself to go all out on the Bulgarians, basically. In 1007, future Emperor Isakios is born here. Isaac Komnenos, the first Komnenos to rule the empire. And yeah, there we go. In 1010, there we go. Pretty good. Soon, all of Bulgaria will be annexed and incorporated into the empire. There we go. The Battle of Clydon has just happened over there. And yeah, in 1018, look at this. There we go. Look at these borders here in the Balkans. This is pretty beautiful, honestly. Croatia at this point, I'm pretty sure, was a tributary state. Serbia was more of a client kingdom, and then those small states, I'm pretty sure it was fully annexed by the empire, establishing the theme of Dalmatia, I'm pretty sure. So yeah. And in 1021, 1022, there's a war of the Georgians, basically. And there we go. I'm pretty sure the ruler of Van, he himself agreed to let himself over to the Romans. So he gave the kingdom to the Romans, and he got an estate in Constantinople to live the rest of his life. And yeah, in 1025, Basil. Okay, that was too fast. Hold on, guys. Hold on. In 1025, around this time, Basil was planning a campaign in Sicily to retake it. Imagine if he lived for like 3 more years. If he lived for like 3 more freaking years. If let's say Constantine the Eighth died in this year and he died instead of Constantine the Eighth, maybe we will have seen the incorporation of Sicily here, giving the Romans a stronger position, and then butterflying away the loss of the Italian holdings to the Normans. So yeah, and as soon as Basil died, bye bye Croatia. And there we go, we have Constantine the Eighth, who was basically a nobody. He didn't do shit. And instead of choosing a capable heir, because he didn't have any male heirs, neither Basil had any heirs, and he chose to have an old senator named Romanus Argyropoulos to marry his eldest daughter Zoe, instead of having his original pick, Constantinos Dalassianos, which was a pretty experienced general. But no, the nobles influenced him to have Romanus III. There we go, Romanus III. He had ambitions, but he failed terribly, unfortunately, and he is going to get deposed in 1032 by his wife Zoe Macedonian and her future husband Michael IV. Okay, I forgot 1034. My bad. It was 1034. There we go. Michael IV was actually a pretty able ruler. Actually, like he tried to do something, but the times weren't there for him. And yeah, after Michael IV, Michael V comes in, the younger brother of Michael IV, I'm pretty sure. And then he got deposed after he imprisoned Zoe, and he got deposed. And then now Zoe, as well as Theodora, his sister, are reigning empresses, like reigning emperor, basically. So this is the second time when we see the Roman throne being in the hands of a woman. So yeah, but don't worry, soon, like right now, okay, that's kind of wrong. I think it was in 1042. Only in 1041 for a few months she ruled. Then she ruled the third time and the last time with Constantinos Monomachos. He was Constantine the Ninth, basically, and he tried his best, but it was because of him mainly that led the loss of southern Italy, and the Great Schism happened, basically. And because he tried, like right now, it's Constantine the Ninth ruling. He tried to push the borders here and annex Armenia instead of having Armenia as a buffer state. That's not good. And he prioritized the Tagma over the theme system, which has worked for centuries so far, which led to the weakening of the theme system and the aristocracy gaining more influence. And yeah, in 1050 Zoe died. Constantine IX remained sole ruler, basically. And in 1054, the Great Schism happened with the Latin Rite Church excommunicating the Greek Eastern Orthodox Church in the middle of Mass in Hagia Sophia. And then in response, the Patriarchate excommunicated the Latin Church, the Roman Church. So yeah. Theodora also ruled for a while. I don't know why it's Theodora the Third, but yeah, Theodora is the last Macedonian, basically. And then we have Michael the Sixth bring us or Geron, which means the military man or the old person, old man, because he was super old. But then in 1057, there were exactly 50 years after his birth, Isakios, or in English, Isaac, um, came to rule, the first Komnenos, ruling the empire. However, he only ruled for 2 years because the population didn't like his taxation efforts. But he was the closest thing to reversing the downfall and bringing the borders of Basil II and cracking down on the corruption and the dinati, which means the nobles of the empire. The dinati at this point were uncontrollable, leading to one of those dinati, to one of those nobles, being Constantine, you missed an E here, Constantine the 10th of the Ducas family coming to power. And under Constantine the 10th leadership, southern Italy will be lost, unfortunately, as you guys can see here. And yeah, the Seljuk Turks have been arriving in Iran, I'm pretty sure. There we go, only the city of Bari and the nominal client state of Naples remains, basically. And yeah, unfortunately. And then we have Romanos IV, which is also part of the Ducas dynasty. Yeah, the Ducas dynasty. He married. He's not of the Ducas blood, but he married the widow of Constantine the 10th, basically. So he's the adoptive. No, 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 not adoptive. He's the a stepfather of Michael the Seventh, future Michael the Seventh, the son of Constantine the 10th, who was still underage at this point. But Romanos the Fourth tried his best. As you guys can see here, and the Battle of Manzikert will happen in 1071 over here, leading up to him getting captured. Getting captured over here, and Michael the Seventh being proclaimed, Vasileus the Autocratoras. However, it was still not lost because Romanus the fourth also survived, but he was assassinated later by Michael the Seventh, and it led to the loss of all of Anatolia because Michael the Seventh was in a civil war, of course, with Nikephoros, I'm pretty sure. Nikephoros Botaniates or someone else, I'm not sure who. But because of the civil fighting war, the garrisons of Anatolia have been emptied, and because of many Seljuk Turks mercenaries coming to serve the empire or each of the rival emperors. Oh, look at all of this mess happening here, of course. And by 1078, basically, all of Anatolia is basically lost, leading up to the general Nikephoros the third Botaniatis from the Thracian theme coming into power. He was a pretty old emperor as well, and he only lived until 1081, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, because in 1081, Alexius I, with the help of the Ducas family, has ascended the throne. He is the nephew of, I'm pretty sure, not nephew. Either nephew or grandson or grandnephew. I think nephew of Isaac I Komnenos. So he established the Komnenos dynasty, ruling the empire for the next 100 years, basically. And he's the one who actually called for mercenaries from Western Europe, but he actually got a cool crusade thanks to Pope Urban II. But she was a pretty able commander, being able to repel the Norman invasion of Hellas over here, as well as a Persianic invasion in Moesia. And soon, in 1092, I'm pretty sure, he's going to call a crusade. Not really a crusade, but he's going to call for help from the west, from the Bishop of Rome. In 1092, oh, there we go. It was not the Persianic invasion, I'm pretty sure. And there we go. Now a bunch of crusaders are at the gates of Constantinople. Why is it called Nico? Anyways, yeah, he lost unfortunately Montenegro over here, and soon he's able to, as you guys can see here, take all of Nicaea, all of the Thracian team, as well as Ephesus and Smyrna as well, and get all of the coast as well as in the north as well soon. The Crusaders got over here soon. So the first crusade is a total victory for the Crusaders, for the Christians. So yeah, and pretty able ruler actually. And I'm pretty sure his daughter Anna Komnene wrote the Alexiad, detailing all of his life achievements. That's where we get most of the sources about him. Okay, and then what we have here? In 1118, he will unfortunately die, leaving the empire to his son, Ioannis II, Komnenos, nicknamed Kalo Ioannis, which means John the Good. I just realized he also got Doclea as a vassalship. Interesting. And Naples and Amalfi are still nominally under the empire control. Quite interesting. Venice at this point is purely independent, by the way. And then there we go. We have Ioannis II, which will do most of the reconquering of Asia Minor around the coast, basically. Doing small chips slowly each time. So yeah, I would say this guy is the best of the Komnenos dynasty, because this guy was kind of like Basil at first. He was kind of inexperienced, but as time goes on, he get more experience and more skill. There we go. Look at how much influence he got back over in the Balkans. Like if he just lived for like 10 more years, maybe more of Anatolian lands would be reconquered, leaving the Turks on the Anatolian plateau over here, and maybe Manuel, with some luck, may reconquer and get all of Anatolia back. But of course, history did not want that. Look at how much progress he got here in Asia Minor, in the western Anatolian parts. There we go. And yeah, look at this. He got Antioch, the Principality of Antioch itself, and Tripoli as client kingdoms, as well as Edessa. Like this guy was pretty good. He unfortunately died in 1143. I'm pretty young as well, actually. So yeah, leaving. Oh, I didn't know Jerusalem was under the control of the empire. That's pretty interesting. Maybe only nominal. Who knows? But I just saw that Naples and Amafali have been, officially independent. Maybe. But there we go. The son of Ioannis II, Manuel, the first, took the throne, basically. And yeah, this guy was pretty ambitious. He was a decent emperor, but he could have been better if he wasn't as ambitious. He tried to emulate the Western rulers. He shouldn't have. He should have just kept to the traditions of the rulers of the Roman Empire, because the Roman Empire at its core is quite different. It's not a medieval state, but he thought it was. That's his flaw, because he compared it to the barbarian kingdoms of the West. So yeah, his campaigns in Italia, his campaigns in Egyptus, his campaigns in Anatolia, in the Balkans have not been successful at all. And I'm pretty sure he was the one who gave a lot more privileges to the Latins and established a Latin quarter in Constantinople as well. But yeah, he also had 2 wives, by the way. And at some point, he had the future king of Hungary as heir apparent. He was named Alexios as well. But his real name was Bela, I'm pretty sure. But as soon as he got a biological heir, a biological son, he pushed him aside from the succession, and had him, sent him away. And maybe if he didn't, maybe Hungary and the Roman Empire would have been under a personal union, under a hypothetical Alexius II Bela, So yeah, but it's quite fun, I guess. The Egyptian campaign was quite a disaster as well. So yeah. The Balkan campaign, yeah, look at that. The Balkan campaign was also not as great. Yeah. And then we have Andronikos the first soon coming up after, of course, Manuel's son Alexius the second. There we go. In 1180, Manuel the first died. He sometimes is nicknamed as Manuel Megas, which means Manuel the Great. because of contemporary sources making him a great ruler, but the modern historians don't make him such a great ruler. And I can understand. I can understand them. Why is it? Why is it Manuel's son named Alexis, but not Alexios? That's quite interesting, honestly. But Alexios the second was underage when he took the throne. So technically speaking, the empire was ruled by his mother, a regent, for 3 years until another side of the Komnenos branch, uh, a quite old person, Andronicus, took power in 1183. There we go, Andronicus the first, and I'm pretty sure he drowned Alexius the second in the Marmara Sea. Yeah. And this guy is also nicknamed Misophias, meaning um I think Misophiles in Greek means hated of sun. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it's hated of the sun. Let me check. Hold on. Okay, so Andronic was the last Roman emperor of the Comnenus dynasty, 1018 1185. He was vilified as a tyrant by later Roman writers, with one historian calling him Misophiles, ancient Greek Misophies, hater of sunlight. Okay, sunlight, yeah, my bad. In reference to the great number of enemies he had blinded. So he tried to be Basil the second, but he kind of failed, I guess. So yeah. Okay, in 1185, he and his son Ioannis have been, I don't know about Manuel, his other son Manuel, have been brutally killed. Not seen, this horrific death has not seen ever since the death of Emperor Maurice, by the way. So yeah. And then we have Isaac the second of the Angelos dynasty, basically, starting the worst Roman dynasty of history, even including the ancient Roman Empire as well. Isaac II is unironically the founder and the least worst emperor. He managed to repel a Norman invasion, I'm pretty sure, and a Pecheneг one. And I think Bulgaria just got independence. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Uh, Unfortunately, I think at this point, yeah, he will rule until 1195, being replaced by his brother, I'm pretty sure, Alexios III, Komnenos Angelos. Named Komnenos because he tried to connect himself with the Komnenos dynasty, even though he was not. I mean, he was the descendant of Alexios the first Komnenos, but his name was Angelos, not Komnenos. So yeah. At this point, the surviving sons of Manuel, the son of Andronicus the first Misophiles, are at this point around Trebizond here, in the care of Queen Tamar, or whatever her name was, of Georgia, basically. And soon they will rebel. I will tell you when. But Alexander III, I will say, is arguably the worst. Yeah, he's arguably the worst Roman emperor in my book, honestly. Because he got replaced by his brother, another Alexios, named Alexios IV, around 1203, and because of that, I think around here, yeah, because of that, she asked the help of the crusading army of the Fourth Crusade to re-establish him, replace Alexios IV in exchange for payment. However, he didn't have any money, and the empire for sure also didn't have any money to pay the crusaders. So you know what happens next then. Well, in 1204, Alexios III was reinstated, but he couldn't pay the army, so the sack of Constantinople happened. Alexios V Murtzouphlos of the Ducas family, the last of the Ducas family, trying to restore, the prestige of the empire, and try to revert the Fourth Crusade, but unfortunately it was too late. All of the artifacts have been either been burned, melted, or sold anywhere else and transported somewhere else, as well as with the tombs of previous Roman emperors, including Justinian and Constantine the Great, being ravaged and plundered and um, sacked as well. and as well as the holy true cross of Jesus Christ being taken in Western Europe and then broken up in pieces and scattered around Western Europe. That's pretty evil, bro. And then in place of in place of the empire, as well as the Senate being officially abolished at this point in 1204. Constantine, I mean, if you want, to count him as the 11th, but he wasn't really a ruler. He was just like leading the armies or something. He was the brother of the first Nicene emperor, um, of Theodore, I'm pretty sure. So he's from the Lascaris dynasty, basically. You could count him as the founder, you could not count him as the founder. It's your choice, honestly. But at this point in 1204, actually even before the sack of Constantinople, uh, those lands have been taken away by rebels, notably Alexios and George, sons of Manuel, which is the son of Alendronicus the first Misophaes. So they tried to, usurp power and restore the Comnenus dynasty, but they were too late because as soon as they got those lands and tried to march, I think it was George marching towards Constantinople, he found out about the sack of Constantinople, and they had to stay in Trebizond, and they formed the Empire of Trebizond, basically. And there we go. Let me wait for Theodore, please. There we go. In 1204, basically by 1205, there was a bunch of states established in place of the Roman state, being, of course, the Empire of Nicaea, being the most military successful one out of all of them, being established here. Then the Empire of Trebizond, having the best claim out of all of them, having their ruling dynasty being of a former Roman dynasty. Then here we have the Despotate of Epirus, ruled by the Komnenos Dukas dynasty, a combination of descendants of the Komnenos and the Dukas. And then we have the Duchy of Achaia, Duchy of Athens, which are ruled by Latin dukes, as well as the Duchy of Thessalonica, which is also kind of like a vassal to the Latin Empire, or how the Greeks call it, Francocratia or Autocratoria, basically. So yeah, fun fact about the Latin Empire: they officially claim to be Imperium Romanorum, even though they were established by the West, who believed that the only Roman Empire was the Holy Roman Empire. So even subconsciously, they knew that the emperors in the East were the true Roman emperors. And when they got the city of Constantinople, then they tried to become the heirs of Rome. But of course, I'm just going on a tangent here. So yeah. But honestly, the Lascari dynasty was pretty dope. Honestly, they should have stayed in power. The Palaiologos never should have usurped the power, but it is what it is. The first few years was kind of hard, honestly, because they were constantly attacked by the Sultanate of Rome and over here, basically, and then by the Latin Empire, and then they were fighting in themselves, of course, with the other states, such as the Empire of Trebizond. And yeah, Theodore was actually a pretty good ruler, but his son Ioannis III was even a greater ruler. I would say Ioannis III was the greatest of the Johns, basically, because his military expeditions. This guy is the goat. He's my favorite John, basically. And fun fact, my name is also John. So yeah, and there we go. We got the the island of well, what is this island? Chios, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, the island of Chios, and this islands as well. More lands over here, and soon they're gonna cross into Europe, conquering the lands around Thessalonica as well. Soon, pretty soon. But this guy, at this point, there we go. He fought the Latin Empire. He managed to get Gallipoli as well. Actually, looking at this, you can kind of see the resemblance between the Nicene Empire and the Ottoman Sultanate. They also got a strip of Gallipoli, the first thing they got in Europe as well. So that's pretty nice. And keep in mind, at this point, all the successor states claimed the mantle of the Roman Empire, except the Duchies, of course, of the Latins one. So the ones claiming were, of course, the Latin Empire, the Despotate of Epirus, the Despotate, or I guess in this case, Empire of Nicaea, and the Empire of Trebizond over there. But around this point on in the 1240s, there we go. The city of Thessaloniki has been reconquered, and soon the lands around it will also be reconquered by John III. There we go. Perfect. Pretty good. This guy should have lived longer, honestly. This guy should have lived longer. But unfortunately, he has died after reconquering so much land from the Macedonian region. And there we go, we have Theodore II, or Theodoros in Greek, having managed to fight the Bulgarians and getting so much land over here. Theodoros was also a pretty nice ruler, but he had unfortunately prematurely died, leaving Ioannis IV as the ruler, with Michael Palaiologos as the regent. And Michael Palaiologos managed, this is all thanks to him by the way, but in 1261 managed Michael Palaiologos to recapture Constantinople, and there we go. He has, Michael the Eighth Michael Palaiologos became Michael the Eighth Palaiologos, usurped power from John, and became the first and the founder of the Palaiologos dynasty, the last dynasty of the Roman Empire. Keep in mind, this is still Despotate of Epirus around here. This is the strip of Mistras, or what it would be called later Moria, basically. And yeah, this is wars keeping Michael busy. Michael was actually one of the best rulers of the Palaiologos, honestly, in terms of military skills. He should have focused actually more on the Anatolian front, honestly. But what it is. I think around this time, either here, yeah, I think around this time or in 1274 or 1278, around there, he managed to convince the despot of Epirus, as well as the um, Autocratoras of Trebizond, to relinquish their claims over the emperorship of Rome, and they'll be accepted as despots or autocratoras in this case. I believe so. So yeah, in 1282, I'm pretty sure maybe the union of the churches happened, where the Latin Rite Church and the Greek Rite Church united, on paper only though. So yeah. And in 1282, Michael dies, leaving his only son, Andronicus II, a piece of something. This guy, he wanted to be a philosopher, but if you wanted to be a philosopher, just have your son, Michael, be the ruler then. Don't... Okay. He disbanded the navy, leaving for only a few ships, and allowing the Latin republics to gain access into the Aegean Sea. Keep in mind, this is done by his son Michael, not by him. He was not a military man. And during his reign, most of Anatolia, as you can see, is being lost to the various Turkish beyliks, basically. So yeah, this guy just will live a long time, honestly. And because of him, there's gonna be a huge civil war, honestly. But yeah, at this point, there is Michael IX as a co-emperor, the son of Andronicus II. He was a pretty able general, experienced general, but unfortunately, I'm pretty sure he died in 1311 or 1312 in Thessaloniki, unfortunately. So yeah. Okay. And yeah, as you guys can see, a few towns remain, including the town of Philadelphia, the last stronghold the Romans will ever hold in Anatolia. So yeah, only falling around in 1390 actually. So yeah. And around this time, a bloody civil war happened between Andronicus II and his grandson Andronicus III. He should have just stepped down, bro. If you want, you know what's funny? He didn't die after he was replaced. He kept on living, bro. Like, that's crazy, bro. And in 1328, I'm pretty sure his grandson assumes power as Andronicus III. There we go. One of the, actually, I would say the last decent Roman emperor who tried to bring Roman hegemony, but he ultimately failed because he died young. Presumably because of malaria. Unfortunately, around 1337, Nicomedia will fall, but you know, his campaigns and his expeditions in the Balkans will be more successful, so that's pretty nice. Yeah, there we go. Nicomedia has fallen. There we go, leaving only Philadelphia as the last land nominally held by the Romans. And there we go. Epirus has been reconquered basically. And yeah, in 1341, basically, there we go. 1341, this is the highest extent of the territorial extent of his empire. And from this moment on, the empire will just keep losing territories. This is going to be so sad. His only son, pretty sure, Ioannis V. This guy also lived a long ass time, much like his great grandfather, Andronicus II. So yeah, he actually didn't rule. He was quite young. I'm pretty sure he was like 9 years old in 1341 when he took the throne. So it was the regent was his mother, Anna of Savoy. Um, and during this time, this as you guys can see here, Empire is losing land to Serbia. I'm pretty sure, because there was a civil war between Anna and the mother of John, and the Megas Domesticos, the um, supreme commander of the troops, named Ioannis Cantacuzenius, originating from the Mauryan region, basically. Which Ioannis ultimately wins the war in 1347, basically becoming John the Sixth, Ioannis the Sixth. And then another war happens soon, where Ioannis the Fifth raised to the throne again, not only after the reign of Matthäus Cantacuzenius, the son of Ioannis the Sixth, basically. And there we go, because of you know, earthquake and because of poor leadership, the Ottomans got the strip here of Gallipoli, the first foothold in Europe, basically. The empire is already doomed. I'm surprised they still have Adrianople at this point. And yeah, there we go. It's all over, dude. It's all over. And this happened because of another bloody civil war. And so another bloody civil war in this set will happen between John V and his own son, Andronicus IV, basically. Where Andronicus IV will succeed and rule for a few years, unfortunately. I'm pretty sure it was 1374. I'm pretty sure. So yeah, Andronicus IV should. Okay. Well, I don't know why it's still held here, but Andronicus IV is currently ruling. What was it here? It's 1376, maybe 1376, maybe I'm wrong, who knows. But he got deposed in 1379, I'm pretty sure of that. Yeah, by Ioannis V again. This guy, I'm pretty sure he ruled, he got replaced and then ruled, got ascended to the throne at least three times, maybe 4 or 5, who knows. But then Andronicus IV's son, so basically John V grandson, Ioannis VII, basically, will try to usurp power. He kind of succeeded in 1390, but thanks to Ottoman support, Ioannis V and his son Manuel will, you know, gain the throne, and Philadelphia is done. There we go. And fun fact: Ioannis V, because of the help they get from the Ottomans, they participated in the conquest of Philadelphia, of their own land. That's how crazy it was. And look at how pitiful the Roman state is at this point. Manuel II, great diplomat, tried his best, but ultimately he couldn't have done more, unfortunately. And the Crusade of Nicopolis happened in 1396 with a defeat. The Ottoman Sultan, I'm pretty sure, maybe he have died at this point. I'm not sure if he died or not. And yeah, around this time, Timur came into Anatolia and has defeated the Sultan. Opening the interregnum and allowing Manuel to gain these territories. Yeah, but unfortunately, the Ottomans will recover soon, and they'll be able to retake Thessaloniki soon. Not only after, I think around this time, what you call it? Yeah, we also gained some lands from here, but like around this time, Manuel's son, I think Andronikos, is in charge of defending the city. But unfortunately, Andronikos will die as a young child, and the empire will be forced, because they couldn't be able to afford to, defend the city. They will give this to the Venetians to, help hopefully defend it, but even the Venetians won't be able to hold this. So in 1425, as well as the same year Manuel will die, the Venetians will also lose Thessaloniki to the Ottomans, basically. So yeah, technically speaking, this is held by the Venetians as well. But yeah, 1425, there we go. The premature, like penultimal ruler of the empire, Ioannis the Eighth, the oldest son of Manuel, is here, basically. In 1429 or 1439, I think it was 1439, where the more recognized union of the churches happened, where he bowed down to the Pope and he asked for help. But yeah, this conquest has been done by Constantinos, I'm pretty sure, the brother of Ioannis. And yeah, this is it, guys. This is freaking it. A few more years and it's all over, dude. It's all over. 1440, 1444 is going to be the Crusade of Varna, which will utterly fail. And around this time, Constantinos, brother of Ioannis, would get, as you guys can see, Athens as a subject, and going to Thessaly, but unfortunately he'll have to retreat. Unfortunately, and the Hexaminian walls will be destroyed by the Ottomans at this point as well. And yeah, in 1448, late 1448 actually, Ioannis will die, leaving Constantinos the 11th, the last Roman emperor, as a ruler. This is so sad, dude. This is so sad. And there we go. 1453 passed, May 29th or April. Yeah, May 29th, I think, was the last day and the fall of Constantinople, leaving the last of the Palaiologos, Demetrius Palaiologos, owning this half of the despotate, and Thomas Palaiologos owning this half, I'm pretty sure. And in 1455, I'm pretty sure the Ottomans will intervene, I think. And by 1460, Moria will soon be conquered, as you guys can see here. Thomas will go into exile, while Manitsa, this strip over here, will remain independent for centuries to come, but not as a suitable state, basically. And in 1461, the fall of Trebizond also happened with its last ruler, David Megas Komnenos, being captured with his family, and with Alexios, the son of Scantarios, the brother of Ioannis IV Komnenos of Trebizond, getting killed in 1462 or 1463 in Constantinople, getting killed by Sultan Mehmed II. And in 1479, the last holdout of the despotate of Epirus will also fall, the fortress of Vonitsa. And yeah, in 1475 also the breakaway state of Theodoro, a semi-successful state of the Roman Empire falling as well. So yeah, this was it, I guess, guys. This was it. I hope you guys liked it, lol. I certainly did. It was pretty interesting to say the least. Constantinos, the 11th. Palaiologos, there we go. This is the Giga Chad died with his troops on May 29th, basically. Age just 49. Konstantinos did his best. So yeah, this was the video basically. This was the video. So yeah, with that being said, I hope you guys liked it. I certainly did. Look how big the empire was at the beginning and then during the Justinian period, basically. And look at its pitiful state in its last days. That's crazy, though. That's crazy. So yeah, thank you so much, for joining. My name is Chetty. And yeah, I hope you guys liked, the video. I'll leave the video into the description box and to the pinned comment. Go check it out. And yeah, if you guys liked my reactions, I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.